Back live at the Assembly Hall floors, we get set for our second boys Class A quarterfinals between Hales Franciscan of Chicago and Normal U-High, University High School of Normal, Illinois. Let's go right to some background on both teams. And Hales Franciscan is right from the inner city of the city of Chicago, a team that has traveled a long way and gotten through some very tough teams to get here to Champaign. Located on Chicago's near south side, Hales Franciscan rests within a few miles of the University of Chicago, the Museum of Science and Industry, and the new Comiskey Park, home of the Chicago White Sox. Hales, an all-male black parochial school, has a long tradition in basketball excellence as well as in higher education. An inner-city school striving for academic excellence, Hales receives support from the Michael Jordan Foundation. Coach Tom Shields' Spartans are 21-10 coming into this game out of the Chicago Prep Conference. Now, they will be the visiting team. The home team here for Class A quarterfinal game number 2 will be a team that's very familiar with this floor. They were here last year. Normal U-High is back in Champaign. Located in central Illinois, Normal is home to several major corporations and universities. Diamond Star Motors is one of Normal's newest residents, along with longtime IHSA basketball TV sponsor, Country Companies Insurance. Illinois State University and Redbird Arena is the new home for the girls' state basketball tournament. University High derived their nickname, the Pioneers, by being a pioneer laboratory education school for Illinois State University. Cal Hubbard's Pioneers are coming in with a record of 20-9 after finishing runner-up in this tournament last season. The Pioneers are back to possibly advance their goals, and we will be advancing on to more pregame coverage between Hales Franciscan and Normal as the Class A quarterfinals continue from Assembly Hall. Playing color commentary here for this second game. Joining Greg Sterrick now is Dick Ludke. Dick?
Thank you very much, Joe. Cairo is through, and now either the U-High Pioneers or Hales Franciscan will join them in the first of the semifinal games tomorrow. Dick Ludke here, along with Greg Sterrick. This first matchup, a good one. Hales Franciscan with a challenging road this year to Champaign. They've faced some good teams along the way. They beat the Providence St. Mel, their coach's old school, in their regional championship game, and then that super sectional contest against St. Martin de Porres, a very good one. That one went overtime, and they were extended to be sure. And as a matter of fact, head coach Tom Shields is a little bit concerned with how his team comes off that big emotional victory and now gets set to take on a team that's not highly regarded.
Well, we've played a lot of difficult games in some bigger gyms, nothing like Assembly Hall, but coming off 3 emotional wins, 2 were come from behind. Down 14 in 2 games, we had to have tremendous fourth quarters. There's a little concern that we might be somewhat emotionally drained. We have to recycle quickly after the St. Martin overtime win. But we should have a good degree of confidence, and the fact that the state tournament has adjusted the format to allow for this morning shoot-around is, I think, very important, very significant.
Well, you know, a lot of post players in the city of Chicago have received a lot of attention this year, but Greg, one of them really is not Greg Wood, the big inside player for Hales.
But he's one of the top juniors in the state of Illinois. He's an outstanding post-up player. He can play with his back to the basket. He also can turn and face. He averages about 17 points per ball game, averages 8 rebounds, and he's their go-to guy, Greg Wood. Also might see Wood take that drop step. He might even show us a little baby hook this afternoon, Dick.
He's a fun player to watch. The Pioneers have some as well. U-High returning to this tournament after last year, but they were 9-9 at mid-season, and their road did not look at all smooth, but then they got it going just in time and defeat the team that was ranked ahead of them in the regional. Eureka beat Gridley, the 5th-ranked team in the state at that point. Big win over Corn Belt Conference foe Prairie Central in their super sectional victory. Cal Hubbard of the U-High Pioneers, he plays the 1-2-2 ball press, but he is wondering how his team will rebound out of that defense here against a quicker opponent.
difficult to rebound on the 1-2-2 ball press. You've got to do a real good job with your help side, which is one of our wings. Usually we have some of our bigger kids on the wings, but you've got to be aggressive going to the boards. And we're hoping most of the rebounds are below the rim, because if they're above the rim, we're not going to get any of them.
Well, if the Pioneers don't get any rebounds on the defensive end, it may not matter what they do on the offensive end. But if that doesn't happen on the offensive end, James Abel and Brian Trutman make them go, Greg.
Well, they've got an outstanding guard in Abel. He's their leading scorer at almost 15 points per ball game. He's fundamentally sound. He's got a nice jumper. He also can do a good job on the penetration move. The other player to watch is Trutman. He's a good player on the glass. He really goes the offensive boards hard. He needs to step up big. He's a good scorer at about 8 points per ball game, but I really think he needs to do the job on the glass.
Hey, I tell you what, it's time to check the CarX factors of the game. Brought to you by CarX Muffler and Brake. For mufflers and brakes and shocks, don't worry, call the CarX man. Greg?
Well, for Chicago Hales, they have to show some patience against the zone defense. They also got to find a way to take care of the Assembly Hall jitters. When you look at Normal U-High, they've got to limit Hales' second chance opportunities. And Normal U-High, they want this ball game to be a very low scoring affair, not an up-tempo game.
Yeah, they need the tempo slow, and we're about to find out if they can dictate that tempo here as we get set for Normal U-High and Chicago Hales Franciscan. Now let's return to these local messages. U-High's Pioneers are 20-9, and Chicago Hales Franciscan with 21 victories and 10 defeats. Game number 2 here of the Class A state tournament. Cairo won the opener 74-54 over Dakota, and now one of these teams wins the right to face Cairo in the semifinals tomorrow. Well, it's about time to meet the participants here. Let's go to public address announcer Steve Adams.
12, a 6'1" senior, Terrell Bass. Number 14, a 6'1" sophomore, Jamar Turner. Number 24, a 6'2" senior, Michael Steele. Number 32, a 6'3" senior, Larry Wilson. Number 40, a 6'6" senior, Kaim Cunningham. Number 41, a 6' sophomore, Samson Essex. Number 42, a 6'6" sophomore, Taiwan Burnham. Number 44, a 6'5" freshman, David Stennis. And number 51, a 6'5" freshman, Barry Johnson. And now, let's meet the non-starters from Normal U-High. Number 11, a 5'7" senior, Ben Chapman. Number 13, a 5'11" junior, Brent Walsh. Number 15, a 6'2" sophomore, Nathan Hubbard. Number 21, a 5'10" sophomore, Jason Graff. Number 31, a 6'1" junior, Nate Dry. Number 35, a 6'2" sophomore, DJ Hubbard. Number 41, a 6'2" junior, Ryan Jones. Number 43, a 6'4" junior, John Searby. Number 53, a 6'7" junior, Matt Gormley. And number 55, a 6'2" senior, Jim Orsolak. And now, introducing this afternoon's starting lineups. At forward for Hales Franciscan, a 6'5" junior, number 34, Sean Baker. At forward for U-High, a 6'2" junior, number 33, Ryan Trudeau. At the other forward for the Spartans, a 6'5" senior, 31, Keith Stanton. And at the other forward for the Pioneers, a 6'4" senior, number 51, Brian Trutman. At center for Hales Franciscan, a 6'5" junior, number 30, Greg Wood. And at center for U-High, a 6'7" junior, number 45, John Baines. At one of the guards for Hales, a 6'2" sophomore, number 21, Lonnie Brown. At guard for U-High, a 6'1" senior, number 25, James Abel. At the other guard for Hales Franciscan, a 6' sophomore, number 20, Ralph Williams. And at the other guard for the Pioneers, a 6'1" senior, number 23, Tom Feely. And now introducing the coaches first. From Hales Franciscan, the assistant coaches are Marty Monaghan, Mike Mulcahy, Billy Garrett, and Tony Hollifield. And the head coach in his 3rd season is Tom Shields. And for U-High, the assistant coaches are Selby Hubbard and Lester Hampton. And the head coach in his 4th season is Cal Hubbard.
And so we're set. Hales Franciscan here for the first time ever. U-High was here last year, but the top 6 players from that runner-up team are gone. One of your network sponsors is Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota. Again, the starting lineups brought to you by Zenith. The quality goes in before the name goes on. Both teams with pretty good size, Greg, but Hales with more jumping ability, and the boards are a big factor.
I think you have to give the edge to Chicago Hales Franciscan on the glass, and that could be a big key in the basketball game.
As we are set here, the Pioneers in the gold uniforms and Hales Franciscan in the red. Hales had never won a sectional game before this year, and now they are here in Champaign under Tom Shields, who won a championship here with Providence St. Mel 8 years ago. And who's going to get the tip? It'll be the Spartans of Hales Franciscan, and we're underway. The winner gets Cairo in tomorrow's first semifinal game. U-High opens in that 1-2-2 zone. Lonnie Brown gets it up to the top, and now back up to Ralph Williams. This is Wood, and he missed the first opportunity, and now we have a whistle on his second chance, and it'll be U-High's ball. There are the team comparison, and, well, it's all in favor of Hales, but they don't win the game on paper.
No, 3-point field goals and the free throws are the only 2 categories that you really give the edge to U-High.
This is Ryan Trudeau, but a poor pass, and now it's loose, but regained by the Pioneers. Tom Feely runs things from the point for U-High. He's number 23 with the ball now.
Yeah, Hales in a 1-3-1 zone defense to start. We're going to see normal U-High very patient. Need to have some good ball movement on the perimeter. You know they want to get it inside, but it's going to be awful difficult to get it inside.
Keith Stanton made the interception there. We're scoreless a minute into the game as Hales is at the other end. Ralph Williams is number 20. He's a sophomore. This is a young Hales team as Stanton misses from the deep corner, and the rebound there belongs to Feely, and breaking up the floor is Baines, but hustling back defense that time is Keith Stanton to deny the easy bucket for the Pioneers. As we look at Tom Shields, as I said, he won a state championship here in 1985 with Providence St. Mel. Another tip pass, and Hales has another steal. Up the floor is Brown, and the reverse layup won't go. But here's the follow by Wood, and Hales is on the board first.
Yeah, Hales wants to score some easy baskets off transition. They're also going to throw that press at you, trying to create some turnovers.
Pioneers try to get the easy one. Here's Feely for 3, and that's not going to go, and Wood has the rebound, and the Spartans look for more. From the corner, the shot is good for Baker, and it's a 4-0 Hales Franciscan lead.
Well, they don't spend much time on that offensive end. First available shot they get, that's the one that goes up.
And remember, we said U-High wanted slow tempo. They're not getting it now, but they do get the fast break bucket themselves. John Baines puts the Pioneers on the board. So it's a 4-2 Hales Franciscan advantage. Ralph Williams, number 20, dribbling the basketball right now.
See the zone slowing Hales down just a little bit, though. They're patient on the perimeter. And U-High's got to find Wood. Got to check him off the boards.
Air ball perimeter shot against the zone, and Ralph Williams misfired as we look at game notes for Hales.
Well, they're ranked number 8 in the final regular season poll. They've never won a sectional in any sport before this tournament.
As the ball now is tipped out of bounds, the Pioneers will retain possession here as they continue to trail 4-2. And now we look at U-High, and as we said earlier, they started slowly this year, but Cal Hubbard says they began to play as a team after that 9-9 start. Of course, they were here last year and finished second, but the key players from that team are gone as the ball is knocked away here from Trutman, and back come the Spartans. Ralph Williams at the top.
U-High just sitting back in that zone. They're giving the perimeter jumper to take away the inside game of Hales.
Brown from outside. They're not hitting from out. Trutman gets the rebound. And the Pioneers again have an opportunity here to tie the score. This is Feely, pretty good perimeter shooter, but he passed it up that time.
See, I like the patience of U-High. They want a low-scoring ball game, and a slow-down game is definitely to the advantage of U-High.
Trutman in the low post gets it down further, but Baines missed the shot, and the rebound for Keith Stanton.
That's a good shot, though. Good ball movement by U-High.
Loose ball there for a moment, but able to corral it is the sophomore Lonnie Brown. Let's see how Hales does now against this packed-in U-High zone. Perimeter shot for Stanton. That's another air ball. And boy, Hales really having trouble shooting the basketball. And if Pioneers can force them to continue to throw up those shots, this could be interesting. Although U-High turns it over here, and Wood with an opportunity at the other end. No, Stanton is pushed as he missed the follow, and he'll go to the free throw line. Our first free throws of the game here with 4:17 to play in the first period.
Yeah, Hales very cold from the floor to start. 2 of their first 9 field goal attempts, but they're showing their quickness, and they're wanting to run. They're wanting to get it up and down, and they need to score off easy baskets. They need to get some baskets off the steals, or they need to get it off the transition.
Good look here at Keith Stanton as the foul was against Feely, his first, team's first. And the throw makes it a 5-2 Hales Franciscan lead.
Look at Tom Shields, the veteran coach of Hales Franciscan, brought the Chicago Providence to Champaign 82, 83, 84, and in 85 they won the championship.
As the second free throw is nailed by Keith Stanton, and that makes it a 6-2 advantage here for Chicago Hales Franciscan in the early going. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. Well, next weekend, the Class AA tournament here in Champaign, and part of the show next weekend is the three-point showdown. 4 shooters in each class competing during the first session starting at 11 o'clock in the morning on Friday. That'll be fun, Greg.
A slow start for U-High. They've had some problems handling the pressure defense of Hales. U-High with 4 turnovers early, only 1 for Hales.
As the Pioneers get the ball into the front court here. Trutman with an errant pass, and coming down the other way is Lonnie Brown. He's got the layup, which makes it a 6-point Hales lead. Now a little pressure shown by Hales, and U-High able to get across the timeline with the pass to Abel. And Abel's pass tipped, but he's able to get it back.
See, he's dribbling right into that trap. That's what you got to stay back away from that trap.
Ryan Trudeau, nice entry pass into Baines, who glides to the bucket and did draw the foul. John Baines will be headed to the free throw line here for U-High.
I like the aggressive play that time by Baines. I like the good look inside by Trudeau, and Baines very, very active inside, calling for the basketball. A nice quick first step to the glass, a little drop step. He was fouled on the play, and it's going to be Baines at the line, and on the year, 59% free throw shooter.
Got to look at Keith Stanton there, who committed the foul. Now here's John Baines, junior, averaging 5.5 points a game, a 59% free thrower, as you see. Let's see how he does here with the first of 2. He makes it an 8-3 Hales Franciscan lead. Baines, the biggest player on the U-High roster, has all 3 of their points so far as Cal Hubbard plots strategy. And a look from our slam cam there shows that Baines cuts the lead to 4. 8-4 the score, 3:38 to play in period number 1. This is Stanton in the corner. U-High with that zone, making it tough on the Spartans to get it in the paint, which is where they want to get it.
Well, that, you know, Hales wants to get it inside to Wood. There's Wood inside right there.
He missed a tough shot, but they got the rebound. And this time the Pioneers, after Stanton missed, it was corralled by Trutman. U-High down 4, and now a reach-in foul is whistled against Ralph Williams, his first, team second. And in this case, it'll be an inbounds pass.
Franciscan foul against number 20, Brown Williams, his first. Second team foul on the Spartans, no shot.
Trutman there to put it in play. This is Abel on the wing, number 25.
Well, that defense of Hales is very aggressive out of that zone.
Feely able to penetrate, though, against the zone and put it off the glass and through. Tom's first basket. 8-6. Now the Pioneers have scored the last 4.
Yeah, nice play by Feely. Found a little seam in the D and took it strong to the glass.
This is Keith Stanton, and his pass is knocked away by Feely. Trutman picked it up. Pioneers can tie the score here. And Feely will try to do just that. He did. It's an 8-8 score. Tom Feely, one of a couple of 4.0 students on the U-High roster.
Back-to-back baskets by Feely. It was a 6-point lead for Hales, and now we're knotted at 8-all.
Out away from the bucket here is Sean Baker. Stanton in the corner.
Well, good job by U-High inside, just denying the basketball to Wood.
And the driving shot not good by the sophomore Williams. U-High now can take the lead, and there's a reach-in foul against Greg Wood. The big gun for Hales picks up his first, team's third.
I think that foul was a little bit out of frustration. I don't think he's touching the basketball as much as he'd like on the offensive end, and the reason why he's not is because of the zone defense of U-High. It's a collapsing zone defense, and as usual, Cal Hubbard has really got his basketball team very well prepared against a Hales club.
There you see the difference in team fouls, and you saw there coming into the game, Kyan Cunningham, 6'6", 185-pound senior, off the bench, but he'll be a Division I player next year. He's been signed by Appalachian State. How many Class A schools have a Division I player coming off the bench, Greg?
If it comes off the bench, huh?
As John Searby now, number 43, you saw a moment ago, in for the Pioneers. So each team with a sub here, as we're tied with just under 2 minutes to play in the first period. This is Searby with it now. And Ryan Jones also into the contest, so a couple of changes there for Cal Hubbard. Jones, number 41, had the ball a moment ago. Feely tripped up a bit, but able to keep his dribble. Now into Trutman and out to Feely. He fakes the three. Good ball movement. U-High not able to find the shot, however. This is Searby. Ryan Jones will fire a three, and he's a little short. But the rebound for James Abel, an offensive rebound for the Pioneers.
Well, it was good execution on the half court of the U-High. The shot didn't fall, but what execution.
Searby with it now. Here's Abel for three. Oh, U-High has the three-point lead, their first lead of the afternoon. Abel's first basket. Now we're down to a little more than a minute to play here in period number 1. Dick Ludke and Greg Sterick calling the action for you on the IHSA television network as the shot from the corner is missed. And after Cunningham couldn't get it to go, another foul against Hales Franciscan.
Well, Feely, a good job just checking on the glass. U-High very solid fundamentally, a nice box out. Feely was right there to get the rebound.
Sean Baker's first foul, 4 already against Hales.
Early in this first quarter, Hales was really dominating the offensive glass. They had 7 rebounds, but 5 of them were offensive rebounds. U-High a much better job in the last 3.5 minutes. 9
points in a row now for the Pioneers. This is Feely in a trap, and he threw it away. Back the other way we go. Lonnie Brown, great behind the back dribble, and he gets the layup. What a move by Lonnie Brown, and there's the first basket in a while for Hales. The lead down to 1. We're now down to 30 seconds to play in the period. Ryan Jones with it for U-High. Here's Abel. Oh boy, he's got himself in a mess again, and we got a held ball. And it will be the Pioneers' turn here. They'll hope to hang on to the ball long enough to get the final shot of the period. Let's see that move by Lonnie Brown again, Greg.
Well, quickness right here. He felt the defensive pressure right there as the ball goes behind his back. Abel went for the steal. He takes it behind his back. A little wraparound move. Gets it up on the window. A nice two-pointer by Lonnie Brown.
And we're back to live action here, and we're down to 9 seconds to play in the period. U-High up by 1. Here's Feely. You see the time left as Feely was fouled as he went to the basket. I believe he's going to get 2 shots, and that's a tough foul against Hales. As the whistle blows against Ralph Williams, he's the first player in this game to pick up a second. It's the 5th against the team, but Feely in the act, and so he gets 2 free throws here with 3 seconds left.
I like the aggressiveness of U-High's guards. They started a little slow, but then Feely and also Abel really came alive, and they've given their ball club a big lift. Feely on the year at 67% from the line.
And as you see, Tom nails the throw and builds his team's lead to 2. Feely with 5 early points here. He averages 10. Nobody for the Pioneers very dominant in the scorebook this year. Abel the leader at 15. Feely next at 10. Everybody else in single digits, but they've got a lot of people who can help. Ryan Trudeau, you see back in the game there for Ryan Jones.
That's a trademark of the Cal Hubbard ball club. They're a very balanced attack.
Feely misses one. The ball inadvertently knocked out of bounds by Lonnie Brown, and the Pioneers have another chance here. 1.9 seconds left for Cal Hubbard's team in the first period. Abel has to hurry. He got it away in time, but it doesn't go, and so the Pioneers settle for a 2-point lead at the end of the first period. They were down 6, but now up 2 as Tom Shields starts to plot his strategy here for the timeout. We'll return following these local messages.
Spartans number 31, 6'5" senior Keith Stanton is quite a remarkable story. Last year on February 20th in a game against Holy Trinity, he went up to do a dunk, slipped and did a flip, hit his head on the court. 2 hours later, he was in emergency brain surgery in Chicago. He recovered from that, played in the Morris shootout during the summer, recovered enough to become the #2 student in his senior class with a 4.8 GPA. He's going to Dartmouth. You talk about Cunningham going to an Ivy League school, so is Stanton.
As the basket there was Greg Woods, and that ties the score, Joe. It's now 12-12. Actually, Cunningham had a chance to go to an Ivy League school, Brown, but instead is going to Appalachian State. He was offered by Brown. So they had 2 potential Ivy Leaguers here on this Hales Franciscan team as they get the rebound off the missed U-High shot, and now they can regain the lead. This is Lonnie Brown. And the shot put up and not good by Cunningham, and U-High's able to corral the rebound. Here come the Pioneers. Into the game now for Hales Franciscan for the first time, a freshman, David Stennis. He's number 44. As Abel drives and shoots off the dribble and puts U-High back up by 2.
Abel, a nice move there, nice penetration move, nice pull-up jumper, felt the defensive pressure, pulled up, hit the short little jumper.
Pioneers trapping at half court here. This is Williams. Long pass ahead, and Wood has his layup opportunity, and he's turned it into a potential 3-point play as the game is tied once again. Greg Wood now with 3 early baskets.
6 points for Wood. A good job on the inside. He's quick to the glass, and there's a good look inside. Kind of freezes a defensive man, gave him that little pump in the shoulder fake, and then got it up on the glass. A nice 2-pointer. U-High in this comeback, when they got behind early, it was a 9-0 run, but the 2 guys that really triggered it, Dick, are the 2 guards, Feely and Abel.
Well, they kind of make the Pioneers go as Greg Wood is able to convert a 3-point play and give his team the lead. It's a 1-point advantage now, 15-14 for Hales. That foul against U-High was against Searby, his first, team second. Now we've got a held ball. It will be U-High's turn, but the full court pressure of Hales bothering the Pioneers a little bit here.
Well, Hales looks to get you in some kind of a double team and a trap. They've got some size up there on the front, 2 6'5" players, and they get you in that double team, and it's tough for U-High's guards to really throw over it with Abel and Feely, though they're both at 6'1".
This is James Abel, number 25. Ryan Trudeau against the Hales zone. Abel gets it down low, but Bain's not able to do anything. Now Trudeau with the running jumper, but that's a bit long, and the rebound comes out to Lonnie Brown. Here's the long one for Wood, and he missed it very short. Abel rebounds it for U-High. Good lead pass to Trudeau. No, it took him too far. He had to go out of bounds. No, he did save it in, and then Baines did the same. What a great hustle play by U-High, and it results in a big bucket for Feely, which puts the Pioneers up 1.
Well, you're right, Dick. A great hustle play, and then it was Abel right there with another little pull-up jumper to give U-High that lead at 16-15. U-High sure didn't give up for that basketball. Boy, good hustle play.
I gave up on him, Greg, but they didn't. That's right. And that's what you got to do. You got to go all out. This is Champaign and a Chance to advance here to the semifinals for one of these teams. Naeem Cunningham took some contact and missed the shot. Wood gets the offensive rebound. We talked in the pregame about offensive rebounding for Hales being a factor here, and there was a good.
Yeah, they really go with the offensive glass hard. That's a big part of their offense. The shot goes up from outside. Sometimes the best offense is send three to crash the glass. And that's really what Hales done here in the first half. You guys done a good job of really taking them out of any kind of an offensive set. They just had problems matching up on the glass with them.
Tom Feely's second foul, third against the team. The guy you're looking at now is Greg Wood, who's 1 for 1 from the line already in this game. And he scores the free throw. He went head-to-head with Jerry G., who some call the best junior in the state. He played here as a sophomore last year for St. Martin de Porres, and he played G very well in that overtime victory in the super sectional. Drew 4 fouls, 4 of the 5 fouls, which eventually, of course, got G out of the game. Wood is perfect from the line, and Hales is back on top. It's a 1-point game. Now let's see how the Pioneers attack this pressure. They're able to beat it across the timeline, but not able to get the easy basket. What you want to do, Greg, is not only beat the pressure across the timeline, but beat it to score.
But if you don't have it, I think UI's got to get into some kind of an offensive set, and they did a good job that time of recognition. It wasn't there, the easy basket, they brought it back, and you're right, Abel and Feely do a good job keeping their ball club in a good half-court set.
It was Ryan Jones that time who delivered the good pass to Baines. Meanwhile, at the other end, a missed long one by Williams, and the Pioneers up by 1 at 18-17 have the basketball once again. The spin by Abel. Here's Ryan Jones. Pioneers lead at 18-17. We're almost halfway through the second quarter of our second Class A tournament game here in Champaign. The runner by Abel, a little bit long, and knocked down on the rebound was Stennis, and the foul will go against Jim Orsolak of U-High. Orsolak commits his first, and it's the team's fourth. So it'll be an inbounds pass here coming for Hales. But first, an official's timeout is called. 4:28 left to play here in what has been an interesting second quarter. U-High leads Hales by 1. One of your network sponsors is Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
The first Class A quarterfinal game, we talked about two schools that were the furthest distance from each other. Well, the longest drought from a state championship is 74 years. It's owned by this Normal team that are here to do something about that untimely record. Back over to a couple of guys at half court who are never untimely in their announcing chores.
Right on cue, Joe. Nice going as we're back to action here. Hales with a 1-point deficit, but they've got an opportunity to change that here as they look over that U-High 1-2-2 zone again. A 3 by the new man in the game, and that's Jamar Turner, who has attempted only 9 threes all year long. He's now 4 for 10, and that gives Hales a 2-point lead.
Pretty good substitution there, wasn't it?
I guess so. Pioneers invited that 3-point shot from him as Ryan Jones got out of a trap with a great pass to Baines. He's unable to convert, however, and Hales now with a 2-point lead in the ball. That was Stennis, the freshman, with a rebound. Here's Ralph Williams. Pioneers are really inviting the perimeter shot as Turner drives the baseline and causes some contact, and that's foul number 2 against number 55, Jim Orsolak. He was a key member of a rather successful U-High football team this year. They made it to the quarterfinals in their class.
That was a nice play by Turner. He hit the open 3-point jumper, and that time he drew all the traffic. He put it on the floor strong, went to glass, a nice little dish, and Turner, only a sophomore, and he stands 6'1".
Boy, they've got some great underclassmen on this club. Turner, Williams, and Brown, the 3 guards, are all sophomores. We mentioned Stennis now in the game, a freshman. Here's Brown. And now Turner. Brown will shoot for 3. And gets none, but Turner high up there for the rebound. Rebounds are hard to come by for the Pioneers so far in this game. Turner glides inside of Trudeau and nails another one. Jamar Turner has turned things around here. Suddenly his team up by 4. With 3:12 to play in the half. This is Orsolak in a bit of a jam. Almost stepped across the timeline. Ryan Jones, another good pass, but Trudeau dropped it out of bounds, and the Pioneers miss a golden opportunity there. And Cal Hubbard, as you see there, doesn't like the way it's going right now. He wants to talk it over as his team had the 1-point lead, but now 5 points in a row for Hales, and it's a 22-18 advantage for the Spartans. Well, we mentioned earlier the three-point showdown coming up next weekend here in Champaign on the 20th of March. That's a very fun event, Greg.
That'll be a lot of fun to watch those guys stand out there and knock down that three-pointer. The three-pointer has really changed the game of high school basketball as well as college basketball. Went to the huddle now and see what Tom Shields has to say to his ball club.
That's okay. Let's keep it in stock. You can hit this shot. That's a shot, coach. Let's keep it right there. But we got to involve them in the game too. So look in, and hey, if you skip where it goes back to the top, wow, you'll be able to enter.
Now let's switch huddles here and see what Cal Hubbard is saying.
Once you beat that press, then he wants to attack so he can get some easy shots on the back end of the press. And Tom Shields was telling his ball club, it's okay to shoot that perimeter jumper, but we got some nice players on the inside. We got to get some involvement out of Wood on the inside.
So Hales with a 4-point lead owns the basketball. Williams and Brown, the guards, playing catch right now outside that zone. Now they're going to take the perimeter shot, and that's well off the mark. We got a foul on the rebound effort going against Hales. So they didn't get it inside. And they pay the price. As Stennis is guilty of the foul, his first team sixth, and so the next time U-High will be in the bonus. 22-18 in favor of Hales Franciscan.
You would think Hales would have the edge in the rebound department, but U-High's battled back, and both ball clubs now with 13 rebounds.
That is a little surprising. Hales has had its share of offensive rebounds. Pioneers have gotten some offensive boards too. Trudeau lost control.
See, Hales just runs at you, and they just look to trap on every opportunity. If you turn your back, they're going to be right there to trap.
It's a suffocating defense, and yeah, you can't stand there with the ball very long.
It's like they ought to be able to use a little skip pass and go over the top. It looks like they can spot somebody up if they'll just skip it over the top to shoot that three-point jumper, Dick.
That last call, by the way, not a foul, but a held ball. It was Hales' turn. Here's Trutman denying the pass, knocking it out of bounds. It'll still belong to Hales, but that's a good play by Brian Trutman.
Right now with 8 turnovers, so the pressure defense of Hales is really bothering him. Only 2 turnovers for Hales.
Ryan Trudeau sitting down at the end of the U-High bench there, getting some attention from the trainer. That was Feely coming back into the game as Turner hit the side of the board with his 3 that time, but Wood tries to clean up and does. And now Hales has equaled its biggest lead of the game. 6-point advantage for the Spartans. Here's James Abel. Trutman in a jam. Boy, a lot of Pioneers getting themselves trapped. Trutman able to work out of that mess. Here's Abel for 3. He comes up short, but Baines is there for the offensive board, and he sticks it back, and it's down to a 4-point difference.
Well, a tough rebound that time by Baines. Really worked hard on the inside, strong through the glass, and got the nice little shot on the inside.
Here's a pass tipped by Trutman out of bounds as he bangs into one of the radio stations broadcasting the state tournament here. That happens to be the station for which I work, WJBC in Bloomington. I hope all my guys are okay down there. I'm glad I wasn't down there working, Greg. I'm glad to be on TV here. There's a look at Kurt Swearingen, the play-by-play man for WJBC in Bloomington, and Bob Morris and Gary Walter working with him. Nice going, guys. A 3 on the way and not good for Lonnie Brown, but another offensive rebound. Williams misses. And this time it's U-High's Baines able to get the board, and U-High coming back the other way, down by 4. Ryan Jones on the right wing. That pass was knocked out of bounds. It'll still belong to U-High, but every pass is an adventure, Greg, for the Pioneers right now.
Well, there's nothing easy for them on the defense, or when they bring it down against the defense of Hales. Hales is so quick, you just can't let them get you any kind of a double team. I think the ball still can be skipped over the top of that defense, and U-High's Trudeau is still over on the bench. Looks like he's got a hurt leg.
Lonnie Brown sitting down there for Hales Franciscan. Here's the pass that somehow got in there to Trutman, who put it home. And it's a 2-point game. U-High hanging tough here. They're down 24-22.
Trutman, a nice inside player, a hard worker on the inside, really moves to the open spot.
Here's a loose ball. Ryan Jones scoops it up. Pioneers can tie things up. We're down to 30 seconds now to play here in the first half.
Yeah, I think U-High needs to look for one shot right here. They're only trailing by 2 points. I'd try and take the last shot of the half.
Looks like that's what they have in mind, Greg.
I like the decision there. I think I'd just try and take the last shot. See, Hales is going to have to come out, either make a decision to match up, or stay back in that zone defense.
You can see the time left there in the period. Pioneers start to move toward the basket now. Unable to split the trap was Feely, and then the foul called against U-High with 7.5 minutes to go. Fortunately for them, it's their 6th of the half, and so it will not result in free throws. Cal Hubbard's team will go back to play half-court defense now.
Feely tried to split 2 defenders of Hales, and usually when you split 2 defenders, you're going to get some kind of a call. And you see Ryan Trudeau leaving there as he hurt his leg. The trainer and Trudeau going to the locker room early. 7 seconds left, first half.
Here's Williams, and they've got 2 left now. The shot blocked, but a foul called against Baines, and with 0.7 of a second to go, free throws coming for Hales. Boy, John Baines, a frustrated young man, and you can understand why. That was an inopportune time to commit the foul.
Watch the foul. The shot goes up, and Baines is right there. He gets the block. He felt like he got all ball, but he got him with the body. I like the call by the official. It just was not a good decision by Baines on the play. And Hales is going to be at the line, and they're going to get 3 free throws.
Kaim Cunningham's first one is not good. So the best he can do now is tie the score. He was in 3-point territory, and so that means 3 throws here with 0.7 of a second left in the half. Now he can tie the score if he gets this next one. That foul on Baines, his first, team 7th. We're still at 1-point difference as the half comes to a close. 1 of 3 for Kaim Cunningham, and that brings Hales Franciscan up, that brings them ahead by 3, 25-22 in favor of the Spartans. U-High down early by 6, getting back to a 3-point lead. Now they're down 3 as Cal Hubbard walks to the locker room. The Pioneers have the score where they want it in terms of total points, Greg. It's a low-scoring kind of first half.
Yeah, I think they like the way the basketball game's gone the first half. If you're Cal Hubbard, you feel pretty good about being down just by 3 points here at the intermission.
Let's go to Joe Passion, who is with the coach for Hales Franciscan.
All right, thanks very much, Dick. Tom, you go into the locker room, only a 3-point lead. Are you surprised by that, and does it make you feel like there are some major adjustments to be done?
No, we're just not shooting the ball well. I mean, if we shoot the ball well, we're up a little more than 3, but right now we're not shooting the ball well. It's been our pattern. Close, we get good looks, and we're not hitting the shots. We have to shoot better.
All right, Coach, go get him in the second half. Tom Shields and his ball club, Hales, leading by just a tray here at the break. And we will be back after this break. More from the Assembly Hall of the Class A Boys Quarterfinal Basketball Tournament will return in just a moment.
Hales Franciscan, as you see, has the 3-point lead here at the end of the first half, but the U-High Pioneers cannot feel too badly about how this first half has gone. They were looking for a slow tempo, a lower scoring game, and Greg Sterick, that's what they have to this point.
Well, they trailed early in the ball game by 6 points. They were able to get back in the ball game. I thought they were patient on the offensive end. I'm speaking of U-High, and it is a low scoring game, and that is the liking of Cal Hubbard and his basketball team. Really where I thought U-High did the job, Dick. I thought they really went to glass hard. I really looked for Hales to just dominate on the inside, get a lot of easy stick backs early in the ball game. They had 4 offensive rebounds. Greg Wood was able to stick 2 of them back for some easy points, but I like the way U-High played. They took Hales out of their ball game and really went to work on the glass. Greg Wood's a tremendous basketball player. He led Hales in the first half with 11 points.
He had 11 and he played well, but the Pioneers defending pretty well inside nonetheless, forcing the perimeter shot for the most part, and they've been able to get some offensive rebounds of their own, which may be a little bit surprising, but that's helped them stay right in the picture here.
Yeah, the zone was very effective for U-High in the first half because Hales had to live from the perimeter. They got to live from the sophomore Turner. He came in and knocked down a big 3, and then he got a nice little little jump or two. He had 5 straight points for Hales, but the U-High defense was very tough, and also I think you have to credit the way U-High went to the glass too. You're exactly right. They're a good ball club. They're so fundamentally sound. They box out. They do all the little things that help you win basketball games. That's a trademark of a good team, and it's also, I think you have to tip your hat and give credit to Cal Hubbard for that.
Well, Carroll won our first game here today, 74-54. That score is a little misleading. Dakota came back and made it very interesting down the stretch. This one very interesting so far. A 3-point lead for Hales at the intermission. We'll return following these local messages.
At the break here of our second Class A quarterfinal boys basketball tournament game from the Assembly Hall from Chicago, Hales Franciscan with a 3-point lead over Normal U-High, the Pioneers who finished runner-up in this tournament last year. Joe Passion back with you on the floor. One of the reasons why us announcers sound like we actually know what we're talking about is because we have such great researchers that help us, like Scott Johnson, who has been researching IHSA basketball stats for over 10 years now. And he's come up with a number of stats here already for this season. What do you find is the most unique thing? You and I talked about the parity in this tournament, and I've already mentioned 74 years since Normal won a state title. Seems like it's wide open in this field.
I think that's one of the really unique aspects about the Class A tournament, especially the last 3 or 4 years. This year's field, the Elite 8 field, has 51 combined losses, and that's a record for an Elite 8 field. Does not just say that they're bad teams. I think it's very indicative of the fact that there's very even competition in the Class A tournament for the last 4 years.
Well, one of the other stats that Scott had come up with that I had studied over yesterday prior to our preview show was, you know, these teams come in here, several are unranked. Several teams are not even seeded in the regionals, adding to the parity of this. And the top 6 teams that were ranked in the state were washed out in the sectionals.
Yeah, it's really a strange situation. We have 4 unranked teams in the Elite 8 this year. The champion 2 years ago, Pittsfield, was unranked, not even in the top 16. In fact, the top #1 rated team has not won the state championship in Class A since 1986.
When you find out the one specific, the fact that no top-ranked team has come through here and the parity, is that a plus for Class A boys basketball? Because at least the attendance indicates that.
I think it is. I think it's great to see some of these new teams down here, and I think it really helps the tournament.
Scott, you do a great job. You help me look like, at least sound like I know what I'm talking about, and I appreciate that very much. Scott Johnson, an IHSA researcher here at the IHSA Class A boys basketball quarterfinals. And we are at halftime of our second game. Hales Franciscan leading Normal U-High, and we will be back with more from Assembly Hall after this timeout.
Lead here at the intermission, 25-22 is the count. They were up early by 6. U-High stormed back, scored 9 in a row, and it's been pretty even since then, kind of back and forth. A few lead changes, a few ties. Greg, it's been an interesting first half and a lot of exciting plays.
Well, it's been an up and down first half. It's been nip and tuck throughout the first half. A good look right there, and then you're going to see the foul right here. Watch Greg Wood really working on the offensive glass. Nice stick back that time by Greg Wood. 2 points off of a rebound.
Tom Feely scored 7 in the first half, and here's a good look at a nice play by the senior guard.
Well, nice little penetration move right there. Gets it up on the window. A nice 2-pointer.
Lonnie Brown is a sophomore for Hales, and Greg, he's a good one.
Oh, it's excitement right here. Look, he takes it behind the back right there. Good body control. Slips to the glass, up on the window. Count the basket for Lonnie Brown.
U-High's top scorer in the first half, John Baines. He had 8, in part because of some hard work here. Well, this is Brian Trutman, excuse me, who scores.
Yeah, Trutman very active on the inside. He's a hard worker, a blue-collar worker. Right place, right time. Trutman with a 2-pointer. Leading scorers for Hales, Wood with 11, Turner with 5, Brown with 4.
And as we said, for U-High, Baines leading the way, but the guards, Feely and Abel, are right there with him. And so it's a 3-point lead at the half, 25-22. The lead belongs to Hales Franciscan. Let's hear now from U-High coach Cal Hubbard, who is with Joe Passion.
All right, thanks very much, Dick. Cal, you sound a little bit displeased, even though you're within a tray of a team that came in here very highly sought after.
We don't care about what they were before they came in here. We're not very happy with the way we're playing offensively right now. We're not moving very well. We're standing, we're stagnant on offense, and we're letting their defense come at us. We want to do a better job of attacking their defense in the second half.
All right, Cal, go get them. Thank you very much, Cal Hubbard. And we'll be back with the second half right after this timeout from Assembly Hall and the boys Class A quarterfinals.
With more ball movement on offense, they can take care of that situation. This is Baker, and he scores only his second basket of the game. And now it's a 3-point lead again for Hales. And again, that half-court trap, U-High able to get it across. Feely splits a couple of defenders.
I think you can still skip it over the top of that defense. I'm surprised that U-High hadn't been able to skip over the top of that zone.
Feely a 15-footer, and he nails it. Starting lineups are back for both teams, including Ryan Trudeau, who we saw walk off with the trainer there during the first half. But whatever his problem is, apparently it's been taken care of, as U-High now is back to within one. Trying to change that, and changing it indeed is Lonnie Brown, his third basket. So it's a 3-point lead again for Hales Franciscan. The team's trading baskets here in the early part of the third period.
Hales only shot 30% in the first half.
Baseline jumper is Trutman's. He got a nice roll. It's a 1-point ball game once again. U-High down one. A lot of offense here in the second half thus far.
Yeah, good start for both ball clubs shooting the basketball. They almost walked with the ball right there.
Ralph Williams put the brakes on just in time. Both teams packing it in with the zone, inviting the perimeter shot, but both teams want to get it inside. Greg Wood had it, but lost it. And U-High can get the lead as Abel with the pass puts it home. Trutman able to follow. Was it Feely? Feely able to find Abel, and it's a 1-point U-High lead.
Well, Abel, good job running the floor. Got a nice, easy basket.
And a near steal, but a foul called on Feely of the Pioneers, and that's critical. That's number 3 for him.
Halftime stats, you look at the field goals, 30% for Hales, 47% for U-High. Free throws, 6 of 8, 3 of 4. 3-point field goals, not really a factor. 1 of 7 and 1 of 3. Rebounds, U-High did the job on the boards to tie up Hales 15-15.
A lot more opportunities you saw there for Hales, in part because of the turnovers against U-High, as the shot here rims not good, and another opportunity for Hales. Yeah, too long in the lane, and so Hales gives up the basketball. Our stats, by the way, brought to you by Milk and the people who produce milk, the dairy farm families of Wisconsin and Illinois. 1-point lead U-High, and the Pioneers with the ball, but not for long. However, they regain it. Nearly a steal for Keith Stanton. Tom Feely lobs it ahead to Abel, but it's tossed out of bounds. It'll still belong to U-High. Just touching that basketball was Ralph Williams. Oh, it's an adventure for the Pioneers at times against this suffocating defense for Hales.
Well, Hales is so quick. They're just very quick out of that press.
This is Baines down low, but it's stripped away from him out of bounds. Sean Baker made that play.
You know, Dick, I keep making this point, but it still looks like to me that U-High can skip it over the top of that zone. I'd like to see Abel spot up and maybe shoot that 3 against it. There's a skip pass. See the difference when you get it over the top?
They get the good shot.
See the difference right there?
Trutman's able to put it down. He has 3 baskets in this third period. U-High equals its biggest lead of the game. They're up 3, 32-29. From the corner, it's Stanton, and he can't get it, and Trutman has the rebound. Here's the pass to James Abel. Feely able to corral that pass just in time as Stanton went for the steal. Again, they get it inside the Trutman with good ball movement, and they're going to get themselves to the free throw line this time. Now they're swinging that ball, Greg, and then getting it into the post, and they're doing some good things with that attack.
Well, they're moving the basketball with the pass and not the dribble. The factors of the game, patience against the zone for Hales, Assembly Hall jitters. They shot the ball very poorly. See how they'll do in the second half. U-High limit Hales' second chance opportunities. And for U-High, they also wanted a low-scoring game, and it's been a low-scoring ball game.
Trutman trying to make it a little higher scoring here, but he misses the free throw. Our CarX factors of the game brought to you by CarX Muffler and Brake. For mufflers, brakes, and shocks, don't worry. Call the CarX man. That's what Cal Hubbard would do. As Brian Trutman shoots the free throw for Cal's team, not good. Missed them both. It's still a 3-point lead for U-High. Up at the top is Lonnie Brown. Stanton's had that shot in the corner all day. Now they get it inside. Here's their main man, and Wood missed the shot, but Stanton follows.
Stanton all over the offensive glass. U-High having some problems with the press once again. A bad pass that time by Hales, so they turned the basketball over again one more time against that pressure defense of Hales.
And the lead now down to 1, and Hales can regain the advantage if they can score on this next possession. Well, one of your network sponsors is ICICs. Again, a reminder, the three-point showdown coming up next weekend here in Champaign, Saturday, March the 20th. It'll all happen. Let's go to Joe Passion.
You may remember at the outset of the first half, number 33, Ryan Trudeau left the court early. They iced his hip. He had strained a muscle in the hip, but obviously it's okay. Ryan has been in, according to trainer Joe Lamer, and he's going to be okay. Back to you guys.
As Hales has the ball down by 1 here, Joe. Again, they pass on the perimeter of that zone. Now they get it down to Wood. Turnaround 14-footer. Barely grazes the rim, but a nice rebound by the sophomore guard Williams. He was fouled. Let's look at it again, Greg.
Yeah, the shot by Wood just as short, and it's a tough rebound. U-High had 3 players in there, but Williams was able to slip inside. It's a battle for the basketball, and Brian Trutman picked up the personal foul.
And that's foul number 2 against U-High here in the half. Free throws coming, the first of which is not good for Ralph Williams. And they've missed their last 3 tries from the line. As you see, leaving the ball game there, Sean Baker back in. Chaim Cunningham, we saw him in the first half. And there's a look at our free throw shooter, Ralph Williams. He nails the next one, and it's a tie game now, 32 apiece, just under 4 minutes to play here in the third period. Second game of the Class A state tourney here in Champaign. Caro, the winner in the opener, 74-54 over Dakota. Trudeau, the player who was hurt in the first half, inside the Trutman, who's been scoring a lot here in this half. He misses off the side of the board that time. Stanton had the rebound. Williams with a nice pass inside, and Greg Wood puts his team up by 2.
The miss by U-High's Trutman, that was their first miss. They hit their first 5 field goals in the second half, so they're 5 of 6, but Hales has taken the lead back at 34-32.
Trutman had 3 of those 5 second half baskets for U-High, but he missed that time as Feely creates with his penetration and does draw the foul.
Ralph Williams is going to get the personal foul.
Second foul against Hales here in the half.
Well, it was a nice drive, though, by Feely. A nice penetration move. Took it off the dribble drive, and Williams picked up the personal foul. Trutman to be the trigger man for the normal U-High Pioneers.
That's 3 fouls on Ralph Williams as the Pioneers put it in play. This is Searby just into the game, and he ties the score. Searby, a 6'4" junior, averaging 4.5 a game. He's got his first hoop of this contest. Chaim Cunningham, the man headed to Appalachian State, had it in the corner there. Here's the long one, and Lonnie Brown nails it. It's a 2, and it makes it 36-34. Hales up by 2. U-High having to work hard against what now is a Hales man-to-man full-court press, and a reach-in foul called there against Stanton. If that whistle doesn't blow, it's a bucket at the other end, Greg.
Yeah, Stanton was putting a lot of pressure out on Abel. Abel's got to do a good job of putting his body between the defensive man Stanton. But they got Stanton with a reach. Watch the quick hands. See the quick hand, the quick reach. We reached right across the body of Abel. When you do that, you need a personal foul.
Pioneers, therefore, retain possession. Third foul on Hales. It's a 2-point lead for the Spartans. Here's Trudeau shooting off the dribble, and he nails it. Boy, the Pioneers are shooting it pretty well here in the second half.
Well, they're shooting it at a 59% clip for the ball game.
Yeah, and we're tied for the ball game right now as the runner at the other end is missed by Brown, and Feely has the rebound, and a nice bounce pass leads Trudeau toward the basket, but back nicely defensively there was Hales Franciscan. Searby had it poked away, but they're going to blow the whistle again, and the foul this time is against Lonnie Brown, and that's 4 already in the half here against Hales. There you see Lonnie Brown Number 21 for Hales Franciscan. He was not in agreement with that call. By the way, our officials, Donald Huddleston, who is from Palmer. Tom Bryant is working this game from Effingham. Congratulations to those guys. The fact that they're here, Greg, indicates they've had a great season.
Had a good season too, haven't they? They've advanced to Champaign.
Just like the rest of us. I don't know if we've had great seasons, but they let us come anyway. Ryan Jones back in the game for U-High. You saw him briefly, number 41. As the Pioneers put it in play, here's Feely. Bumping a bit with Samson Essex, who just checked in. First we've seen of him for Hales, and he has committed the foul. There you see number 41, Samson Essex. He's a sophomore. A lot of underclassmen get a lot of playing time for Tom Shields' team.
Shields a little unhappy with the play, but watch the dribble drive by Feely inside. It's a good call by the official. Wasn't set on the play. Really didn't take away anything except he leaned into the offensive player, so it was a good call. And Feely's in line, a 67% free throw shooter.
And he rolls that one off of there, so it's still a tie score here. 36 apiece. Cal Hubbard with a long swig there. His team has played pretty well on the defensive end and a little better offensively here in the second half as Feely gets the second free throw, and the Pioneers once again have a lead.
I think U-High's offense here in the second half has been much improved.
Samson Essex, the sophomore, up there. Inside, this is Stennis, and he missed the shot but was fouled, and he'll go to the line for two. David Stennis, who just checked in, a freshman, we referred to him earlier, will go to the line here with a chance to put his team back on top. Let's look again, Greg.
Well, it's a good look on the inside, a little drop pass inside. They take it on the inside, and on the play right there, Stennis went up strong for the shot, but he was fouled on the play. So the freshman, Stennis, will be at the line, 6'5", 190.
Remember Skip Dillard, who played for DePaul, as Stennis makes the free throw. This is his son, and he has his first point of the game, and he ties the game at 37. There's a good look at David Stennis. Game remains tied, but the rebound for Stanton, and he's drawn the foul, and he gets credit for the bucket. Hales up by 2, could be by 3.
Boy, a great rebound that time by Stanton. Really crashed the offensive glass on the missed free throw. Gave it a little fake, and then gonna have a good look at it. Look how strong that play is. Good body control, uses the glass, gets the two-pointer. A great basket that time by Keith Stanton.
Searby's second foul, U-High's third. Stanton looks to convert a three-point play, which would give his team a 3-point lead. He's done it. That's 7 for him, and 5 of those have come here in the second half.
And 5 offensive rebounds for Stanton.
Abel for U-High. Across the timeline to Orsilac, and here's Ryan Jones. 1:31 to play in the third period. Tom Feely in a jam, and boy, again, the Pioneers are bailed out by the whistle. I'm not implying there's not a foul there, Greg, but they're living dangerously. They get themselves in some traps, and they're getting out of them with the fouls. Tom Shields may be in disagreement with the call.
I don't think he was very happy with that particular call. What tempo still in the ball game. It's still to the liking of U-High. I really felt like that Hales was going to get up and down, and we were going to see a real fast-paced ball game, because I felt their quickness and their press would take U-High out. U-High has done a great job.
That pass by Feely, and they're going to pay for it at the other end. This is Lonnie Brown. A little punctuation mark at the end of that play, and it's 42-37, a 5-point lead for Hales Franciscan.
And there was the pressure defense and the quickness of Hales, and the result, an easy basket on the dunk.
Tom Feely now for the Pioneers. Splits the trap, and a foul called against Hales. Once again, the Pioneers get out of a jam with the foul against the Spartans. 1:02 left in the half, or in the third period, and let's watch this one again.
A good outlet pass that time to the freshman Stennis, back the other way, and you're going to see a good look at it. It's coming right at you right there, and there it is. And there's the jam on the play by Lonnie Brown.
The foul was called against Hales, and at the free throw line, Tom Feely, who is now 3 out of 5 from the line, and he puts his team within 4.
Stopped a 6-0 run by Hales.
The veteran gets another one down. And a couple of big free throws as U-High now brings Nate Dry into the game for the first time. John Baines sits down. 3-point lead for Hales at 42-39. We're inside of a minute to play now in the third quarter. This is Samson Essex, the sophomore. Here's the long one for Brown. He's been hot, but he missed that one. But another offensive board for Stanton, and he converts it into a 2-pointer, which makes it a 5-point lead again for the Spartans.
The best offense, Hales, has been a shot from the outside and just crashed the offensive glass.
Sometimes that is what works best. Nate Dry for U-High. Here's Ryan Trudeau. Well, you see the time left there. The Pioneers now appear ready to wait for the final shot of the third period. They're down 5 at the moment. And Hales has played mostly zone. They're sitting back in the zone right now.
It's a very active zone, too. So they're going to come out and put a little pressure. They're going to match up.
No, there's a loose ball, but it came to the right spot for U-High, and the shot not good, but the follow by Searby in time as the horn sounds, ending the third period. Trudeau missed badly from the corner, but John Searby able to rebound the air ball and cut the gap to 3. And we're headed now for the final 8 minutes of action. Hales hanging on to a 44-41 advantage. We'll return following these local messages. Game summary brought to you by Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Well, you look at Chicago Hales, 22 rebounds, 9 of 13 from the line, 7 second chance points for Normal U-High. They're 8 of 12 in second half shooting, 11 turnovers, and Hales is 8 of 14. So both ball clubs have really warmed to the task here in the second half. And for U-High, in this final quarter to make a run, you've got to keep Hales off the offensive boards.
Here's a reminder that this copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and the non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the written consent of Cost Broadcast Sales is strictly prohibited. Stanton missed the shot, but the Pioneers, even though they got the defensive rebound, give up the ball. John Searby hurt himself and went down to the floor and traveled.
Yeah, I think he came down on someone else's foot and just rolled that ankle over. I think it's an ankle injury.
Tough break because he was in good position to get the rebound.
We can take a look and see where the injury happened. There it goes right there. Looked like it was his, really didn't get a look, but I think it was his ankle that he rolled over.
His left. And yeah, I think you hit it right on the button, Greg, as they're attending to him on the floor now. John Searby, a reserve for the U-High Pioneers. Junior, 6'4" player, and he's been a key man off the bench. This U-High team, extremely balanced. They've relied on 8 and sometimes 9 people this year. And you can see he's in a little bit of pain.
He's given him a nice lift, though, off the bench. And I really felt like also that he's really worked hard and done a good job working the glass. And he's been very active on the offensive end.
They're going to be able to roll him off the floor. And I know he didn't want to leave, but they're going to attend to him in the locker room. Maybe we'll see him back, at least at the U-High bench here before this thing comes to a close. His team, as he leaves the scene, trails by 3, 44-41. We now have 7:43 to play. It's Hales ball. 9,400 here for the first session of the Class A tourney as Greg Wood misses short. The Pioneers corral the loose ball. Tom Feely with the rebound, and he's able to move it into the front court. This is Baines, but he rolled it off his own leg. Too bad. He was gliding toward the bucket for an opportunity to score.
Boy, good look, too, inside, but Trudeau. The half-court execution, much better for U-High here in the second half. They're getting some points inside. Both ball clubs with 16 points in the paint. So U-High's holding their own there, too, Dick.
Pioneers have played well defensively all game long.
But they still trail by 3 at 44-41.
They're playing a good team. Lonnie Brown and Essex playing catch up top. Essex will take the bomb. And the rebound to the corner. Essex able to save it in. Nice hustle play by the sophomore.
Well, Trutman just didn't go get the basketball. I think he felt like it was going to go out of bounds.
And as the pass comes in to the freshman, David Stennis, a foul called against U-High. Yeah, Brian Trutman quit on that play, and it cost his team.
Yeah, I just think he felt like the ball was going to go ahead and go out of bounds. And, you know, Trutman's not the type of player that's going to quit on a play like that. You know, he's such a hard worker, and he's a good inside player. He's a top rebounder on this ball club, and it was just a bad decision. That's all you can say about that particular play.
He committed his second foul, U-High's 5th. And Hales now puts the ball in play. This is Samson Essex.
Well, U-High's done the job on Greg Wood, haven't they? They've really, he's got 13 points, but he's only 5 of 12 from the floor and really hadn't touched the ball that much on the offensive end.
It's been tough to jam it in there. to Wood as the perimeter shot is missed, but Stennis with the rebound. Another offensive rebound bucket for Hales, and their lead now is back up to 5 at 46-41. We're down to 6.5 minutes to go.
Boy, he's a good-looking freshman, isn't he? Good offensive rebounder. He's a good scorer.
Feely with it for the Pioneers. Yeah, one would think that Hales will have some good teams coming as the three by Abel is short. And what an effort to rebound that ball by Lonnie Brown, skying above the rest. He flies down the floor. Good pass inside, but Wood found himself stepping on the end line. And Tom Shields didn't want to see that one. Oh, it's like getting your hand caught in the cookie jar. As far as Lonnie Brown is concerned, he was standing where he wasn't supposed to be. And a steal by Brown. He tries to make up for it, then he lost it, and U-High comes back. They've got the numbers, but again the ball poked away, and now it's a layup at the other end for Ralph Williams. Oh my goodness.
Couldn't catch the basketball.
Well, suddenly a comedy of errors here, and Tom Shields urges his team to get back into it.
Just couldn't grab the basketball on that play. Went to shoot it before he caught it.
You got to catch it before you can shoot it. No question about it. And that's what happened there, as we're going to get a timeout called by the U-High Pioneers. We have 5 minutes and 51 seconds left to play in this game. Hales Franciscan, even though they were not able to convert this opportunity, leads by 5 points. 46-41 is your score. And one of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. U-High's basketball, they're down 5 with plenty of time to go in this one, as they now see the full court pressure of Hales Franciscan. Man-to-man pressure, so once they get the ball inbounds, it's a matter of Abel working hard to get it across, in this case against Jamar Turner, who's now back in the game for Hales.
See, Hales is going man-to-man. That's not any type of a zone now, Dick. They're in man-to-man pressure, denial.
And they denied that pass pretty well, and coming up with a steal is Stennis, and then he's knocked to the floor, so he'll go to the free throw line to try to add to his team's lead. Or is that, no, that's team foul number 6, so Hales will get free throws next time. And the foul called against Trutman, it's his 3rd. Nobody with 4 fouls in this game. Trutman and Feely for U-High each have 3. Williams has 3 for Hales Franciscan. Inside it goes to Stennis, and the freshman missed that time. Jim Orsolak back in the game, had it knocked away. Wood's got one coming here, and he laid it in. He wanted to dunk it, but lost control on the way up.
But Stennis kept it alive. The freshman kept it alive, went after the missed shot, his own shot, kept it alive. Wood was right there to get the follow on Wood with 15 points. Brown with 10 to lead the way for Hales.
And this is the biggest lead of this game, 48-41. Now Hales has the advantage as Feely glides through the lane and was fouled before the shot. He'll have a 1-and-1 coming. Foul called against David Stennis.
Well, Feely's so quick with the basketball. Finds a little seam in the D right there. Slips by the defender. They got him on the drive as Stennis reached instead of moving his feet. Give the foul to the freshman David Stennis.
At least he got him before the shot, and they missed the free throw, but Feely for another attempt. He missed that one too, and the rebound for Lonnie Brown. And so it's still a 7-point Hales lead. Now with less than 5 minutes to go, they have control of the basketball.
And they're starting to control the glass too. They've got the edge now in rebounds, 27-21.
Lonnie Brown, who he missed that pretty badly as it clanks off the board and the rim. Trudeau's pass tipped. You don't take anything for granted when you're throwing a pass here against this Hales defense. Abel inside. And now Trutman will deal it back out. And the Pioneers down 7. Need to find some offense here, and they're not going to do it that way as Feely dribbled right into the defender. And this is Turner at the other end. Nice protection of the basketball there against the defender.
And the freshman with 7 points now, and you're right, a good job, a good steal, and then protected the basketball, just glided by the U-High defender and got the 2-pointer.
9-point lead at the other end. The Pioneers trying to stay in it. Get a big bucket from James Abel.
It's been a good opportunity right there to get a good quick timeout. I think you got to start using your timeouts now, Dick.
As Feely is nearly able to make the steal, but the ball bounded on the sideline as Cal Hubbard contemplates the situation. Maybe wondering whether he will or when he will use his timeouts here down the stretch. 3:54 left and his team trailing by 7. There's Turner, who made a big play a moment ago with that layup out of the ball game. Inside it goes, and a reach-around foul called against Brian Trutman. That's 4 on him. He's the first player this afternoon in this game to pick up a 4th foul.
Fouls on 51, Brian Trutman, that's his 4th.
And the Pioneers over the limit in fouls, and so free throws coming here for Greg Wood, and maybe that's just as well in this situation. The Pioneers may need Hales to miss some free throws, Greg.
Well, I think they're going to have to miss some free throws. They're going to get plenty of opportunities. UI's playing catch-up basketball, but there's still plenty of time left.
As Wood makes the throw. He has 16, and it's been a quiet 16. As you pointed out, they have not been able to get the ball inside very easily to Greg Wood.
No, he's perfect from the line at 4 of 4, 6 of 13 from the floor.
From our camera behind the backboard, you see now that he's 5 for 5, and the lead is again 9 points. And the Pioneers against the pressure, and Hales with the foul this time, and that's not what you want to do when you have a 9-point lead with 3.5 minutes to go. But Lonnie Brown commits his 3rd.
Yeah, he was reaching on the play, and once again reaching with the hands instead of moving the feet on the defensive end, and not a good decision that time by Lonnie Brown, as it's going to send Tom Feely to the line. And on the year, 67% free throw shooter. You're going to get back into a ball game when you're trailing by 9 with 3:47 left. You got to make some points or that clock stopped.
Feely's had a tough time shooting the free throws in this game, as he has now missed 4 of them. He's 4 for 8. Rebound, as you saw, for Hales, and they're still up 9. Now 3.5 to go.
Yeah, UHI's team struggled a little bit from the line. They're 6 of 12. You got to shoot them a little bit better than that, Dick.
And a timeout called here by Tom Shields and Hales Franciscan. 3:34 left here. Hales 52 and UHI 43. Let's go back to Joe Passion.
All right, Dick, just an update on the injury to Normal UHI's number 43, John Serby. Went in with a twisted ankle, came down on it sideways, he told me, on the training table. And the UHI trainer, Joe Lamer, said that it was well enough that he could just wrap it up. Serby wanted to get back in the game, so they simply wrapped that ankle up. And as you'll see in the huddle over at UHI, Serby is on hand. Back to you guys.
All right, Joe, let's try to listen to Cal over here.
We got to go down the floor offensively, swing the basketball and get a quick shot. We've got to attack on the strong side. We're trying to attack right here in the middle. Bring the ball down the wing and swing it just like we do in 3-on-2. Okay? We need a steal and a bucket.
Situation, okay? 9-point lead for you. Hey, not too conservative. We want to get good shots. So that means a wide open shot. Jump straight up. You're leaning on your jump shot. That's the number. Try to get it in. Try to get it into Greg or Dave.
Well, there's still a lot of time to go, as you pointed out a moment ago, Greg. A 9-point lead seems big in this game because it is the biggest advantage for either team, but 3:34 is a long ways.
Now, plenty of time left, and I really look for Hales. If the shot's there, I don't think they're going to be that patient on the offensive end. That's why I think UI's got a chance to maybe come back if Hales can't knock down the outside shot.
Lonnie Brown to the baseline, and the jumper by Stanton won't go. And that was the missed jumper by Wood. It's Stanton who gets another offensive rebound. He has 9 rebounds in this game now, and he's put his team up by 11, the largest lead of the day for the Spartans. And the Pioneers work against that Hales defense, which again is really denying almost every pass opportunity.
Well, the second half, though, the first half, UI a good job on the glass on both ends of the floor, but in the second half, Hales is really dominating. I think they're probably 9-3 or 3 edge in rebounds here in the second half.
Again, the ball swatted out of bounds by Hales. 3:12 left now. 11-point lead for Hales Franciscan. And again, it's knocked away. Stanton there cutting in front of John Baines. John Elway has a better pass completion percentage than the Pioneers here do over the past few possessions, as Feely has it in the deep left corner. Here's Abel looking for 3. He doesn't get any, and on the rebound, it was Baines over the back of Williams. They'll call it on John Baines. And that will mean free throws at the other end with 3:03 left to go.
Yeah, Abel got a nice look at the basket. The shot just wouldn't fall for Abel. And Feely and Abel have really had, they've had some problems here in the second half. They played very well in the first half, and Feely with 12 and Abel with 9 points. So they've scored 21 of the 43 points, but really haven't been a real factor here in the second half.
Williams with only his second point of the game. He is the assists man for Franciscan. Came into the game for Hales Franciscan. Came into the game averaging just under 10 assists per game. You consider a 32-minute high school ball game. That's doing something as he makes both free throws and has his team now up by 13.
Well, this is a pretty good basketball team, Hales. You know, their losses came to AA schools, not A schools.
Every one of them, all 10, 2 AA schools. They beat some AA schools, including Bloomington and Joliet West in the tournament at Pontiac in late December. That's where Tom Shields says this team really came around as the shot is missed by Feely. And here's Abel with a great move to cut inside and steal it and get fouled. Ralph Williams commits his fourth. The Pioneers aren't about to give up. 2:44 left. They're down 13, but Cal Hubbard's team has been a team with a great work ethic all year long, and they'll fight until it's absolutely over.
We felt like the U-High had to limit second, third chance opportunities of Hales. Well, Hales has had 15 offensive rebounds.
As Abel's free throw rolls good. 56-44 the score now. Cal Hubbard made it to the championship game here last year. His team will need a huge comeback for that to happen again. As Abel now has 11 points. The lead is 11 points for Hales. Keith Stanton bumped a bit at the timeline. And the foul will be called against Nate Dry. So a lot of free throws here at both ends of the floor.
Well, Hales has just dominated this final quarter of the ball game. We're down to the 2:41 mark, and Hales is up 56-45. But Hales has scored 12 points in this quarter and only 4 for U-High.
It was a 3-point game at the quarter break, but now Hales looking in good shape. Although we said a little bit ago, 3.5 minutes is a lot of time. 2 3/4 is still enough time for U-High to get back into it, as they need some more of those. Missed free throws by Hales. Baines able to rebound it, but he's down on the floor, can't get rid of the ball. Held ball. It is U-High's turn, as you see there.
Well, Lonnie Brown went down after the basketball. Very aggressive, very alert play by Lonnie Brown of Hales.
He's a sophomore. They have some great-looking underclassmen here in red uniforms this afternoon. Able to Trutman, and he had a great opportunity but missed it. Another defensive rebound for Hales, that time for Stanton, who's been the big man on the glass in this game. This is Stennis, the freshman, down low to Keith Stanton. The follow by Stennis. How about another offensive rebound for the Spartans? This time they take it out. And they're going to work that clock down a little bit here. But not very far, because the foul is called against Tom Feely. That's 4 on Feely. And now we're down to 2:09 left to go as Ralph Williams will fire up a couple more throws.
Hales players are such, they're just such quick leapers on the inside, and U-High with some good position, but Hales just been able to go up and over the back of them here in the second half.
1-1.
Big difference on the offensive glass in this thing, Greg.
19-6 edge to Hales.
As the free throw here is missed by Williams. And a foul on the rebound attempt is going to go against Hales, and again, that's not what they want to be doing in this situation with the lead. Keith Stanton, as you see, picks up his third.
Stanton with 11 points. He's had 8 offensive rebounds, Dick. He's been all over the offensive glass. This is just a good rebounding basketball team.
Well, Cal Hubbard talked before the game, as we see Nate Dry coming back for U-High, about the difficulty of rebounding, especially against a team like Hales, when you're playing the zone. It's tougher to block up, tougher to find your guy and block the offensive player off the glass.
It's much more difficult to rebound out of a zone, and the defense has been effective, even though Wood has 17 points, but they've done a job on him, but other players have come up and had good ball games, like Stanton.
As the Pioneers miss another free throw, and now they've got no foul called this time. It'll be inbounded here by Hales as the ball was knocked out by U-High. 2:07 left, an 11-point lead for Chicago Hales Franciscan. Their first trip ever to the state tournament, as a travel there against Stanton will result in another U-High possession. Tom Shields wondering when that horn is going to sound, when that final horn is going to sound. It's been slow moving here over the last few minutes.
Dick Baines had an awful good first half, too, for U-High. He was really a factor. He had 8 points in the first half, and he's yet to score here in the second half. So that's a factor also.
Ryan Jones back in the game now for U-High. This is Tom Feely with it. And the three by Abel is a little short. Who's got the rebound? It's Greg Wood for Hales, and then a foul against Ryan Jones, who reached in to try to make the steal against Ralph Williams. There's a look at Ryan Jones, the junior for U-High. These guys will have another good team next year. 3 starters are seniors: Feely, Abel, and Trutman. But Baines will be back, and so will some of the guys we've seen off the bench. Nate Dry and Ryan Trudeau also will return. Well, let's check out our player of the game here right after this free throw attempt, which is good for Ralph Williams. Our player of the game brought to you by Milk. Enjoy real dairy products. Look for the real seal in your grocer's dairy case.
Well, Stanton's had a big game. 11 points with 11 rebounds. Worked the offensive glass. 8 of his rebounds have came off the offensive board.
As he made the first, Williams did, but then missed the second, and so now it's a 12-point Hales Franciscan lead. U-High in a hurry. Ball knocked out of bounds there by Lonnie Brown.
If you want to look ahead, a matchup between Hales and Caro.
That should be entertaining.
Oh, ought to be fun.
It looks like that's what we're headed for. As Feely gets it to the high post, and Baines turns and misses. As Greg said, he hadn't scored yet in the second half. He had a nice opportunity there, and now a foul against James Abel. And now we're down to 1 minute and 30 seconds to play. Well, tonight, 2 more quarterfinal round games. You'll see them both here. Staunton in the Elite 8 for the first time ever against the Hawks of Riverton. And then it'll be Mendota's Trojans against Hamilton, as a timeout has been called for here by U-High. They're in a tough spot. 90 seconds left. They're down a dozen as they try to come back here in Champaign.
Well, if you're U-High, the only thing you can hope is some free throws are missed, and you can throw up the pressure and get some baskets your way, and then throw the heat on the defensive end and just hope for the best, Dick.
Let's go into the huddle of Tom Shields and the Hales Spartans.
You play the guard, you play the center, and you make it. Now listen, here's what's going to happen the rest of the way. They're going to throw up a lot of threes and go chase them. You guys have got to go 5 guys to the board. But remember, long shots generate long rebounds. So after you go to the basket, the ball comes off long. You got to go get it. If it's a real long shot, anticipate a long rebound, all right? On offense, get yourself out of trouble immediately. Try to get the ball down the court and spread them out. Spread them out, keep the ball moving. 41 is a designated fouler right now, and you got to make your throw. Don't be sloppy. Keep your focus. There's no big key.
The last time a Chicago school won the Class A tournament, as we look at Cal Hubbard of U-High, it was Tom Shields who was the coach of that team. That was Providence St. Mel in 1985. And it looks as though Tom's chances for another championship will remain alive here today, as the free throw is good for Haim Cunningham.
Normal U-High, this is the second year in a row they've been here, Dick.
Yeah.
Last year they played Findlay in the championship game, and they got second place last year. So the program and the tradition continues at U-High.
14-point lead now after Cunningham made both free throws. You know, U-High is the only returning team here this year in Champaign at the Class A tourney, as Feely misses, and this is Schuckman having his shot blocked. Now Abel, and he gets it done. U-High with a field goal, and now they'll stop play with another timeout here. They're back to within 12. There's 1:17 left to go in this basketball game. I was saying the Pioneers, the return team here, but maybe the surprise team of this field, because they'd lost 6 players from last year. They really didn't look very good at all. I saw them at midseason. They didn't look like a team at that point capable of getting here to Champaign, but Cal Hubbard's team has played so much better here down the stretch. Played as a team. Let's listen in.
Everybody is totally denial. If they throw it over the top, Brian, you're trying to go and get it. If you can't get it, you're drawing the charge. Okay? Let's get the can. All right? Ball right now. The ball comes in. If you don't have a good double team, foul. Okay, Nate, Brian? Foul. Foul and go after the ball, because you might be able to score it. All right? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
graphic illustrated there that U-High is out of timeouts, and they're down 12 with 1:17 left. The situation, it's fair to say, is quite desperate for Cal Hubbard, whose brother Selby is seated there behind him. Les Hampton, the other coach on the U-High bench. Pioneers forced to play full court pressure now. Still in the backcourt. They've got to get it across here, and they do in time. Kaim Cunningham, the senior off the bench, has it for the red-shirted Spartans of Hales. And we got a minute to go here. Able to tip that pass. Now the foul is called as Trudeau came up and bumped Keith Stanton, our player of the game. He heads to the free throw line looking for a couple more points.
Well, rebounds have really been the difference here in the second half, Dick. It's a 20-12 edge here in the second half for Hales. So that's really the difference in the ball game, in my opinion, the way Hales has been go to the glass. You agree?
I agree. And there was a question coming into the game. It's really no surprise that this game turns in that direction, because that was certainly one of the questions in Cal Hubbard's mind coming into the game. How can we do on the boards against this quick, strong jumping team? Keith Stanton, one of the best jumpers out there this afternoon, has his 12th point of the game. The lead is now up to 13.
When we go back to one of our keys we had to start the ball game, one of the factors was that U-High had to limit second chance opportunities of Hales, and they haven't done that here in the second half.
It's now a 14-point advantage for the Spartans. This is Ryan Jones, whose shot blocked by Stanton. So give him a block with all of those rebounds, although U-High winds up with the basketball because Cunningham winds up on the end line. Ryan Jones unable to get the three, but the follow is there for James Abel.
Nice follow that time by Abel.
It's a 12-point difference. Now down to 37 seconds to go, and the foul against Abel puts Stanton back at the line. James Abel, one of a couple of 4.0, Feely, a 4.0 student, Brian Trutman the other, but 4 of their 5 starters, as we look at some of the U-High kids, are 3-3 students or better. It's the ISU lab school, and it's a strong school academically and a strong school athletically these days.
So I guess that makes Trutman and Feely, both of them #1 in their class at U-High.
They're tied for #1 with a few others, I think. You see there number 13 into the game for the Pioneers, Brent Walsh, a 5'11 junior. And there's James Abel sitting down. His basketball career, unfortunately, comes to an end here in Champaign. Although if it's going to come to an end, this is the place where you want it to happen, I guess. Huh? Stanton makes the free throw.
A lot of teams start, don't they?
Yep. There are
only one closes the season on a winning note.
There are 7 alive right now, and the Pioneers just hanging by a thread. About to be 6 teams left as Stanton cashes in both free throws. His point total is up to 15, and the lead is 14 once again for Hales. And a foul will be called here against Ralph Williams, who appears to be in some pain down on the floor, and that's not good news for Hales as they anticipate their big matchup with Caro tomorrow.
They got a 14-point lead. Not a good decision even. I hope the young man's not hurt, but he went after the basketball, went for the steal, and I think he just hit the deck hard. I think it was an ankle. Let's see if it's not an ankle injury.
There it is.
See, he just goes after the steal right there. Williams with the reach. Oh, right there. See how his right ankle just spins underneath. He just kind of rolls it over.
He got him twice.
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay as he kind of walks off.
Yeah, that's good to see. And now he'll be out of the ball game, as Feely will go back to the line with 33 seconds left now. Tom Shields talks to his sophomore Ralph Williams, who has some more basketball to play here this weekend. We're going to get another U-High sub into the game as Ben Chapman has checked to the scorer's table, but he'll have to wait until after the free throw attempt by Feely. Tom's been having trouble from the line. Rebound for Stanton, but he had it poked away. Ryan Jones with the play, and now a foul called against Hales.
Talk about Hales' basketball team a little bit, Dick. When you look at what they've got, Williams in the lineup, a sophomore. Lonnie Brown, only a sophomore. Greg Wood, a junior. Then you've got Sean Baker, a junior, and the only senior really is Stanton. We've seen a freshman and a sophomore off that bench really give Hales a real lift. So this is definitely a good basketball team right now, but a basketball team for the future also.
Of the top 9 players, only 2 of them are seniors. Stanton, the only starter, and Cunningham off the bench. And lots of sophomores, and Stennis, the freshman, they could be back here.
And we felt like it was a little bit of a question mark how well Hales would handle the Assembly Hall jitters. I don't think there's any question that they've handled it pretty well.
Well, they jumped to that 8-2 lead and then watched U-High rip off 9 in a row, but they withstood that run and kept it close at the half. In fact, led by 3 at the half. They were only up 3 at the end of 3 periods, but you could even see signs late in the 3rd period they were starting to take control of the boards.
Well, they just didn't shoot the basketball in the first half. They really struggled shooting it from the perimeter, and now they've got their field goal percentage up to about 37% on the game.
Here's Ryan Jones rebounding the air ball for U-High. We're down to 13 seconds to play. Into the game for the Pioneers is Matt Gormley, and he lost control of it. Who's going to corral that thing? This is Nate Dry, and now Chapman wings the pass to the corner, and Walsh gets it to Chapman, who misses the shot at the buzzer. And the game comes to a close with Hales and Tom Shields advancing to the semifinals by the score of 63-49 over Cal Hubbard's U-High Pioneers. The 2 coaches, who have a lot of respect for one another, meet and talk at center court. Tom Shields and Cal Hubbard in the Assembly Hall here last evening talking to one another, and boy, you could really get the feeling then that they do have a lot of respect for one another. All right, let's check out the American Airlines play of the game, brought to you by American Airlines and American Eagle. Something special in the air. This is going to be a dunk.
I think it's going to be a little slam, Dick. I think that's what it's going to be. Lonnie Brown on the breakaway.
But give some credit to David Stennis, who made the pass. And boy, that one was fun for the Hales Franciscan fans to watch. They saw a lot of action here that they enjoyed. Brian Trutman of U-High now being presented an award for ranking #1 in his class. We mentioned earlier he has the 4.0 grade point average. Earlier today, Bill Olson, the director of franchise operations at CarX, who we just saw a moment ago with Ryan Trutman, presented the same award to Chad Binger of Dakota's Indians, who played in the first game. Well, our second game here after that first game was won by Carroll over Dakota, 74-54, won by Hales Franciscan, a final 63-49 over Normal's U-High Pioneers. One of your network sponsors is DuPont. Well, a 63-49 victory for the Spartans of Hales Franciscan. Coming into the quarterfinal round, I think a lot of people expected that Cairo and Hales Franciscan would advance to the semifinals. They were the favorites on paper, but you don't win the game on paper, as we've pointed out a couple of times here, Greg. U-High in this second game put up a pretty good battle, but the boards turned out to be the difference.
Yeah, it was a good ball game for the first half, and I really feel like U-High did the job on the boards in the first half, and I agree the difference in the basketball game was the second half. It was a lopsided edge for Hales, especially on the offensive glass. Stanton was all over the offensive boards. They were able to get a lot of easy stick backs, and that was really the difference in the basketball game.
Great effort by U-High to get to this ball game, and they certainly made it interesting for quite a while. Let's check out our final game stats now. If we look at the figures for this game, brought to you by Milk and the people who produce milk, the dairy farm families of Wisconsin and Illinois.
When you look at the stats there, U-High, they shoot 46%, 36% for Hales. Free throws, Hales 27 opportunities to knock down 20, 8 of 18 for U-High. 3-point field goal is really not a factor, 1 of 9 and 1 of 10. The rebound edge, you give that to Hales, 39-29. Turnover department, U-High turned it over 16 times. So you can see the rebounds were the difference in the ball game, especially on the offensive glass.
So that pretty much tells you the story. The Hales Franciscan Spartans, the victor by 14. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance.
Chicago Hales against Carroll in one of the semifinal games on Saturday after their win here over U-High. And that, of course, sets the table for tonight's second half of our quarterfinals. And let's take a look at those matchups. Riverton against Staunton and then Hamilton against Mendota in our 8:30 game later on tonight. And for Dick Ludke, Jim Elbrick, and Greg Sterick, I'm Joe Passion from the Assembly Hall in Champaign. We'll be back with the Class A quarterfinals tonight at 6:30 on this station. This IHSA broadcast has been brought to you in part by Country Companies Insurance. When it matters most, the country's behind you. And by Milk and the people who produce milk, the dairy farmers of Wisconsin and Illinois. And Zenith, the quality goes in before the name goes on. And CarX Muffler and Brake. For mufflers, brakes, and shocks, don't worry, call the CarX man. And by Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota.